Hello everyone, it's Newbeat here with Ageless as we get ready for another match in the Questline Open. It's finally happening. We're here, Ageless, and it's gonna be a fun one.
It's going to be an excellent game, and it's actually the first time we've ever had a cast where we're in a single room.
Yeah, I can push you and everything. It's so exciting. I can just bully you in person now. It's absolutely wonderful. I've been looking forward to this tournament for so long and this opportunity, and this is going to be such a fun couple weeks.
Yeah, and it's we're now in a different room from the desk. I feel like we could almost kind of duck underneath and then just appear at the desk. I'm glad that we don't have to do that.
Yeah, it's much easier to do it this way. You know, just a quick commute across the hall to a different room. And now we are getting ready for this next match versus DELETEFRIEND and G-Force. Aegis, what do we got in store?
This is going to be an absolute banger. I know we've said that about quite a few of our games so far here, but the tank line here for DELETEFRIEND pops out at me right away with Alex and Choose. That's wild. Alex is an absolute monster player, as everyone is aware. Obviously Choose as well, and then G-Force here as well. This is going to be unbelievable. I'm really excited that this is the match that we've managed to catch the cast today.
Yeah, we could see maybe Maimon coming out on the Doomfist at some point. We know they're an extremely good Doomfist, played for sure cold for a bit. There's just a ton of talent on these two teams, and we have had, a couple 2-0s to start the day, but this one could go the distance.
I really hope it does. I know that, yeah, we have had a couple 2-0s, so maybe this is the one that goes to 3. Come on, DELETEFRIEND, G-Force, help us out. Let's bring it to 3. We've been hyping up how close these matches could be. Let's have this be the one.
I mean, we have seen some big plays already today. A couple big pulse bombs. There was that Sky Noon earlier in one of the earlier matchups. So there's going to be some big plays regardless. These players are so talented, but we are really looking for a close match here. We want to see some excitement. I paid for my whole seat here, but I only want to use the edge, and it's really what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and I think from the compositions that we've seen so far, it's been fairly map dependent. Seeing a lot of the kind of ball zen or the hybrid compositions that have been coming out. We saw a couple people lock the legs on Busan earlier. It's always nice to see some Soldier 76. We are going to be heading out to Helios for our first map. So this is we see some boobs. We've seen a lot of environmental kills actually already today. I've managed to catch some of the matches.
There's always a chance for environmental kills on Helios. It really does kind of depend on which sub-map we start, and it looks like we are going to be headed to, I believe that is well first, so we're going to see the big well in the middle of the map and some opportunities for some boobs coming up.
No.
Very much looking forward to this. We talked a little bit about the compositions that we are expecting on the desk. Looking like we're gonna get what we kind of wish for here from both teams as they're beginning to set up. Get with these the balls end comps with the Sombra. And Lucio's on both sides, but maybe just for the speed boost. Yeah, just for the speed boost. So they both swapped over to the Brigida.
Both teams running full-on mirror compositions right now. The same 6 heroes for both teams as they come forward to this objective. You can see from the top-down view here, there's got a lot of different options coming out. Kappa going over the top on that Wrecking Ball, not really able to find too much so far. Our Ultima Web, seeing if they can get any early eliminations, has to back up, grab a mini health pack as the engage finally comes through. DELETEFRIEND trying to push forward onto that objective. Maimon goes down first. That is going to be tough. Web with that eliminations. Both Sombras out of the fight. Now Kappa getting back into the action as they take down Kara. Both teams trading this out back and forth. This fight goes, and it looks like at the end of the day, G-Force is getting close to that first engagement win.
Ultima has been just an absolute force of nature on this Tracer, just pulling so much aggro, so much attention away from DELETEFRIEND here in the backline. You can see as soon as that Sombra went down, is just kind of an unfortunate translocate. It really opens the fight up when you're Sombra and you're able to just go after the D.Va, go after these more squishy targets, the fight ends quickly.
Ultimate got that pulse bomb quick, threw it in right away, and they were able to take down Eugene. And now with Sue getting that was Sue taking down Eugene. That is going to be DELETEFRIEND getting right back into this fight, and they are getting the eliminations quickly now, getting over onto the point with a couple members. Kappa almost wanting to touch, thinks better, but backs up, waits for the rest of his team.
Not. Gets the ambush on the Sombra as a wrecking ball. Savor that moment. I feel like it's probably been the other way a million times. Here's my moment on coming up to this EMP here. Choose has the minefield, and Becky has the Transcendence available here. Well ahead, DELETEFRIEND is on the Ultimate Economy.
This is looking like an ultimate fight coming up, and already the minefields have been dropped by Choose to start off this engagement. You can see GeForce right now not really wanting to deal with that, and they don't really have to, as a lot of those mines ended up on the high ground. And speaking of mines, there are more on the map now as Kappa drops a minefield of their own. Eugene gets into the backline, they take down Sue, and with that, GeForce is going to try and push forward here. Nice manual hack coming out from Pummy to allow more space for GeForce to really get on to that objective. Nice hack coming out onto Pummy now. They're not going to be able to use those abilities.
Nice slam there as the Transcendence came out from Eugene. So a lot of ultimates coming onto the field. There's another Diva Bomb to follow it up.
Big play coming out from Alex. They're going to take down Eugene once again, who has fallen victim time and time again to these abilities coming out. Nice eat as well from Alex, carrying right now on that Diva, making a lot of big plays. Finally, Ultimate gives up the ghost, jumps into the well, and with that, DELETEFRIEND is going to take the point back over, and they're already up to 72%.
We talked about Alex, before the game started, already making a mark on it. Gets the bomb kill, gets the pulse bomb eat, causing all sorts of trouble here for GeForce, and it's expected.
So DELETEFRIEND is just going to try to hold onto the point here for the last 10 or so percent. You can see them getting close to some more ultimates, most notably that minefield about to come out again from Choose. Rotating over to the left-hand side, GeForce is trying to find purchase onto that point. Nice hack coming out onto Choose. Has to crab walk themselves out of danger to stay alive into this fight. A couple trades coming through early on. Overtime has been proc. That means that GeForce has to stay on the objective now. Pummy's able to get a kill in onto Choose. Pulse bomb comes out from Sue, and that's going to get rid of anyhow. And once again, DELETEFRIEND is taking an advantage here. Ultimate's able to get one out of the fight, but will that be enough? Only one member right now of GeForce on the point. How much longer can they keep this contest going? It doesn't look like very long. They finally run out of members, and with that, well is going to go to DELETEFRIEND.
Eugene kind of became quite a slippery target there towards the end. So DELETEFRIEND going up 1-0 here. I think we're seeing some really strong play from both Zenyatas here, both Eugene and Becky. Really fantastic work. This is the one hero out of these kind of compositions that can get a lot of neutral value. So you're seeing a lot of focus get put onto them especially from these wrecking balls and these super mobile DPS.
Being a wrecking ball, you have to be so careful of that Discord orb from the enemy Zenyatta. You can get burned down so quickly. Once again, looking like we're going to see some speed boost coming out, at least from Magic Maid Ball.
Yeah, seeing the speed boost coming out. So it seemed like it was a big thing that you have the Symmetra come out and then make the swap. So the supports are opting for it.
Both teams coming together by the statue. Nobody going down just yet. And with that, Alex is going to go back out, get a mega health pack, and get ready for another engagement here following Choose back in.
Kappa already 25% up to this minefield, building this ultimate quite quickly here, and oh boy, Sue putting so much pressure here.
And now you can see GeForce over on the point, trying to get that first cap in. They can't quite get it just yet. There it goes. It has proc through. They are now in possession of the point. Sue has to back up a little bit already. And with that, Ultima is going to try and push their advantage on this left-hand side. Sue's able to get the first pick in onto Eugene. And with that, Ultima has to answer, and they do as they finish off the pilot diva of Alex. But it's not going to be enough. Sue just getting those extra eliminations coming in, finishing off the diva's mech and the pilot. And with that, DELETEFRIEND is right back in this fight as they take the point back over.
I could watch these tracers all day. Sue and Ultima are fantastic, cleaning up so many of these kills, they just seem to be everywhere. Anyone who's trying to escape, anyone who's a little bit low, they're there with the pulse pistols to finish them off here. Suit is a little bit ahead in the ultimate surge, so pulse bomb is available. On the other side, Pummy with the EMP.
DELETEFRIEND doing a good job right now of taking that extra space, pushing forward, making it hard for GeForce to go in, and their answer to that is Pummy throwing down the EMP, and the follow-up is there. 2 kills coming in, and now about to be 3 for GeForce. They are back on the point. A great use of that Sombra ultimate, and they are going to take this fight handily.
No, still managing to hold on to a few ultimates here. Yeah, they do manage to do this pretty cheaply. So GeForce holding on to the point here. They got both tank ultimates, and they are going to have both support ultimates for the start of this next fight.
I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of pressing queue in this upcoming engagement. As you can see on both sides, there are a lot of ultimates available for the next fight. Ultima getting very low, down to 38 HP, has to use a recall to stay alive. Mamone gets into the backline, targets out Zenyatta, and takes down Eugene, who is on the wrong side of the kill feed once again, as GeForce is trying to push forward, make up for that, and Ultima's the next to fall. Sue gets the better of that. Tracer 1v1, self-destruct coming out in the back from anyhow. Nothing doing, but they get taken out before they get it back in their mech, and with that, Mamone pushing forward with the help of Sue. DPS line doing great job for DELETEFRIEND. They've got the point back.
You can see pretty much everything gets used there from both sides. Eugene and Dubecki holding on to the Transcendence here. It's not necessarily as much of like a fight-saving ultimate as you might see in like a rush or composition. So they'll hold on to this, try and win a fight by keeping a couple members up here on the Tracers though. Ultima just lagging behind. There we go. So both Tracers have the pulse bomb available.
Nice roll through coming in from Choose, comboing that with the pile driver. That is going to be answered by the Transcendence coming out from Eugene, trying to keep their team healed up, but they can't heal through that pulse bomb. Another eat coming through from Alex. That's the second ultimate so far they've negated with that defense matrix. Ultima's able to get one back as the EMP comes out now, this time from Bubby, and our GeForce still in this fight. Kappa is able to get another pick. They take down Becky, and they get back onto the point. So the contesting still happening, but both teams really wanting to take this fight.
Still managing to get it up here. Okay, so the support's starting to come alive here on the kill feed, but so much pressure as they get, oh boy, minefield into the little hallway.
DELETEFRIEND is behind the 8 ball right now as they lose another couple members, and now the point. You can see the minefield came in late from Choose, trying to make a bit of a hero play. Unfortunately, nothing doing.
So now fully flipping things around here. Kappa almost up to the minefield. We'll probably see that get used pretty quickly here to deny some space on the point. 82% here for GeForce. There's the EMP.
Those EMPs can be so big, and you can see the Transcendence once again coming out from Eugene. Good timing on that ultimate there, keeping their team happy and healthy. Manual hack comes out onto Alex, and that means that they are going to lose their mech. A lot of utility gone for DELETEFRIEND with that off tank, missing their main component right now. Overtime burning away, almost burning out, still staying alive, 99% for both teams. This is going to be the last fight. Ultima with another stick, and GeForce is cleaning it up. They are going to take the sub-map, tie it up 1-1, and send us to round 3 on Lighthouse.
We asked to keep it close. So far, 1-1. Doesn't get much closer than that, so it's going to be all decided on Lighthouse. The Tracers are just everywhere on this. This has been unbelievable. And you know, I talked about a little bit before, both Zenyatas. These Zenyatas are being hunted constantly. Like it's like they kidnapped Liam Neeson's daughter or something. And there's 5 Liam Neesons looking for them at all times, trying to track them down. Doing a really nice job finding these frags, really nice discords, and managing to stay alive despite all the pressure being put on them, especially from these wrecking balls and the Tracers, which are kind of been floating around together, just destroying.
I don't think I can handle the 1 Liam Neeson coming after me, let alone 5. So these Zenyatas doing a good job, although you see Becky has switched over now to the Ana, so a little bit of a different look coming out this time around from DELETEFRIEND. Maimone on this Echo, trying to get up top, see if they can get an early pick with all that extra damage that Echo does. Getting the Brig in Magic Maple low, but not taking them right out of the fight. The point has now unlocked, and you can see right now DELETEFRIEND has taken residence on the point, and it's going to be up to GeForce to try and contest that, and here they come.
The longer this fight goes on, the more DELETEFRIEND is going to be in better shape here. Just a lot more sustain with this Mercy and Ana, although already down Wrecking Ball.
Who's out of the fight once again. GeForce is going to get that first point flip here on Lighthouse. You can see Sue really trying to harass his backline, getting Eugene very low, but they get hit by the break. Great job from Magic 8 Ball, playing bodyguard for their Zenyatta, making sure they don't go down.
Yeah, Magic 8 Ball there with the bash. And maybe that's a big part of why Eugene has been having a good time staying alive for the most part and managing to have a lot of really good uptime is, you know, Magic 8 Ball doing a nice job of being that bodyguard against the Leonese.
You choose trying to roll through, find an unlucky victim, tries to throw down the pile driver. Not much happening with the end of that, especially now that Eugene has forced them back to spawn with the kill. Maimon staying up top, has the duplicate online, thinks better using it right now, is going to disengage, hopefully wait for some more tools to come in from the rest of his team.
I do have the EMP. Oh, Ultima takes a dive off the edge with a little help from Sue there.
Maybe the strongest Tracer melee that I've ever seen. Once again, Pummy coming over to the point on that Sombra. You can see the Transcendence has come out from Eugene as well, getting everyone onto the point. There's so much sustain right now for GeForce. Are they going to turn this into another fight win? Minefield coming out onto the point from Kappa is going to effectively zone out members of DELETEFRIEND. Maimona in the air getting very low on that Echo. They decide to copy the Sombra, trying to get themselves up to a quick EMP at 50%, but not building it maybe as fast as they like. Hack coming up from Pummy, the EMP coming out on the other side from the copied Echo. Nice boop there from Choose to get rid of Pummy off the point. With that, Alex is going to get a rematch kill, and DELETEFRIEND is now back in the game.
Oh, having so much trouble tracking down Kara there. Unbelievable. Ultima had no problem finding so many of these targets, and that Mercy was slippery here. Does have the pulse bomb, does Stu here. And right now it's the only ultimate available.
Alex just barely got a touch in there to proc overtime. Ultima getting another kill. Pulse bomb comes up from Sue. That's going to wipe out Eugene, and both teams have to get over onto this point once again. Ultima playing a great Tracer right now, ducking and weaving. Nobody's able to take them down. They're able to finish off Alex and keep this point locked tight, and with that overtime burning away, you can see the touches coming in right now one by one for DELETEFRIEND, but that is going to do for this round. GeForce takes it. They take the first map of the day. They're up 1-0.
Really impressive play there from both teams, and we are managing to stick to you know, keeping the game close here. Even, you know, both percentages quite high for there. We're seeing, yeah, Eugene on this Zenyatta has been just an absolute force.
Finding these shots. You love a good Zenyatta play coming out as they finish off Choose there at the end of that play of the game. And with that, we can see GeForce taking the lead in this best of 3, and with that, they're already at match point.
Yeah, I guess with the when it's best of 3, the games can turn around pretty quickly, as we've seen. Yeah, a couple 2-0s to hopefully DELETEFRIEND able to rally a little bit and bring things back for our next map.
And I mean, with that, if you want to look at it from the glass half full perspective, if you're DELETEFRIEND, this is the about shortest reverse sweep you can muster. So either way, like, even though they're down a map, both teams still have a pretty decent chance.
Yeah, two wins in a row. It's not going to need to be anything super wild for them to bring this back. I just really want to highlight the Tracers that we've had here. It's been just frankly unbelievable. Both Sue and Ultima have just been, you know, so dangerous. Not even just for the backline. They're obviously hunting down the Zens, the Brigidas, but you know, on top of the Wrecking Ball, on top of the Divas, it seems like anyone who is even a breath close to being killed is just rocked by one of these Tracers showing up.
100%, they're doing a very good job of creating space, even though they are getting into like kill feed a lot, cleaning stuff up. Really, the job they're doing is pressuring those off angles, pressuring the supports, and making it so hard for the other team to get aggressive and get pushed forward when they know that Tracer's always lurking just one step away, ready to take out that Zenyatta.
Yeah, the positioning and the rotations have been really good. They're taking a lot of space and then kind of collapsing, you know, as soon as one of those mistakes or as soon as someone gets just, a half health or something like that, we're seeing that full collapse from the Tracer, Sombra, Wrecking Ball, which is exactly how you love to see this composition played. Just kind of like that poking, like the Raptor testing defense until it finds the weak spot. And then, you know, all hell breaks loose.
Sure, I wasn't ready for your, is that a Jurassic Park reference? It must be. You mentioned a raptor. I couldn't possibly think what else it would be. So that's on me for not just putting that together. But yeah, they've done a great job finding those soft spots, making it weak. Like I know Ageless, you've talked a bunch about with Tickety, who's on the desk today, about these Bulls end comps and what they do to get value. So coming up now that we're out of the control map area, what do you think you're going to see change? What do you think you're going to see stay the same going forward?
Well, we had talked about this leading up to the leading up on the desk was that for teams that are more recently put together, this balls end competition works really well actually. It really rewards mechanical ability, it really rewards individual play. So you don't necessarily need to have been playing together for 6 months to get a ton of value out of the comp.
Yeah, that's really showing here, with DELETEFRIEND being that more of a put-together team, more of a pug team a little bit. They're really showing their mettle, doing a really good job at taking these fights. And once again, it looks like both these teams running out Tracers, also running out Briggs on the other side. And we saw some great plays in the last round by Magic 8 Ball. The Briggs job is going to be to mark that Tracer to make sure the Tracer's not going after the flex support.
Yeah, and to be honest, anything that it even sounds remotely like we're saying it correctly is due to Tickety and the absolute noggin on Tickety helping us out, understanding what exactly is going on here. Thanks to Julian calling out our horrific SR, you can see why.
Yeah, that was... I was just glad I got to plat at one point, because that could have been way worse. If that little run I went on about 4 years ago never happened. So coming out here on Junkertown, we can see DELETEFRIEND actually coming out with the Orisa Sigma, so they're going for a bit of a double shield look.
Yeah, more of a hybrid comp coming out for G-Force versus Double Shield here, so a lot slower composition here, not as much the mobility, although Hanzo on both sides here, so Pummy and Sue bringing the bow out.
G-Force has made a little bit of headway so far, not a huge engagement coming through, ultimate getting low, has to use that recall once again to get their health back, and see anyhow trying to push forward, getting Alex a little bit out of position, caught off from the rest of their team, couldn't get healed through that barrier, and Alex is going to pay for it. Luckily, Kara was able to hit Ultima with the whip shot, so that's a 1-for-1 trade. Now Puppy popping off a bit on the Hanzo as they're able to get through and use that space that anyhow is creating, just pushing forward, relentless on that Sigma, and with that, G-Force is off to a great start.
5:23 coming into the second point, and this is, a really difficult point to be defending if you get caught by the aggression, which G-Force is playing. They're pushed so forward here, not really allowing DELETEFRIEND to set up at all.
The tank line right now for G-Force doing a superb job getting forward and claiming that extra territory in advance of the rest of their team coming through. And so far, DELETEFRIEND hasn't been able to find an answer for them. Pulse Bomb comes up from Maimon. They're able to get rid of Eugene. That could turn the tides in DELETEFRIEND's favor. They have thrown out the window as well, so extra damage coming through that Ant Matrix. And it looks like the ultimates are going to be spent here by G-Force to see if they can get through and get some of these picks back.
Nice dragon there. Gets rid of choose. This is a lot of your staying power out of the fight now. Alex coming up to the Gravitic Flux. Although Eugene, 90% of the transcendence here, so this could completely negate it.
Peppa claims a life with the minefield. Once again, these tanks for G-Force just pushing forward and getting so much value. That Flux comes out, and with that, anyhow is going to go down. Alex trying to get this back in the fight for DELETEFRIEND, trying to stabilize for the defenders. They're taking so much damage, they get focused down. Sue back in on the Cassidy was not there in time to help out their off tank. Now throwing down the Deadeye, getting Kappa low, but not low enough to be taken out. That is going to have to be cleaned up by Kara. And with that delete friend, looks like they are finally going to stabilize here in the second phase of Junkertown.
Just moments too late there, Eugene. Had the Transcendence just as soon as the Gravitic Flux had finished there, unfortunately. Didn't really... Yeah, they could probably could have used that one here, but lots of tools still available. Coming up for another Pulse Bomb from Ultima, which is, you know, another fight has happened, a fight and a half has happened. So Ultima has a Pulse Bomb.
Unfortunately for Ultima and the rest of GeForce, Delete Friend is also strapped with a bunch of ultimates, but it doesn't matter to Sue. They're going to take down Ultima almost immediately. That is a fantastic opening pick once again for Delete Friend's DPS line here. And they are really turning this around. Weren't able to set the pace at the beginning of this round on Junkertown, but now they're really getting back into it. Anyhow, getting caught out on a bit of a flank. They are going to be taken down next, and with that, the defenders are sitting pretty.
Yeah, they finally get a stabilization here, which is really where this composition... Oh, wow, Alex gets another eat! Really trying to get their recommended Pulse Bombs for the day here. That's 3 now, so if, you know, one a map, I guess. Or now more than one a map. Yeah, now that this composition is stabilized a little bit, you can really see the double shield coming out, finding a lot of value. They were able to take the high ground, which they weren't able to before. GeForce had done a nice job of taking away that space as they were just trying to back up. They kept them on their heels, and now it's completely the other way around.
Becky starting this off with a window from on high, and he is going to get an eat of their own with the kinetic grasp. They take down Mimone's Pulse Bomb as well, so these Pulse Bombs are marked for death. They are the catering service right now for these tanks.
Genji now. So, bit of a different look here with the Shimada brothers. It's the first Genji that we've seen so far today, so... both tank ultimates are available here for Delete Friend, coming up to a Deadeye as well. So again, lots of big space-making abilities available here for Delete Friend to just continue this hold.
Sue with a nice job trying to punish Kappa. Luckily, Kappa was able to get back onto the safety of their team. A little bit of a zoning Deadeye coming out there, just pushing people back, making them respect the space that Deadeye can look into. You can see Alex setting up on the high ground. They have a Flux, but with this one, anyhow, is going to push theirs in first. Kara is going to fall victim to that. A bit of a trade coming up once again, but this time GeForce is getting the upper hand. Pummy looking great on this Hanzo as they get rid of Becky one more time, but that's not going to be enough. A huge supercharger coming out from Choose. That is going to enable 3 eliminations for GeForce, and just like that, they have got back on top.
That was unbelievable. Choose was like completely isolated. The Dragon had come for them to back up for the Mega. And, oh my god, I can't believe they managed to stay alive that long, although it looks like, yeah, swinging back in the favor of GeForce here.
Papa is doing a ton of work on this Wrecking Ball right now, being so disruptive, getting in wherever he wants. Always an uninvited guest by the other team, now throwing in that minefield to try and hope that anyone from GeForce can contest now with that minefield on the point. Pummy getting a nice Helix rocket kill, and with Cup getting another pile driver. This is GeForce's fight to lose, but they got to be careful of that window, and Ultima's going to answer that with a blade of their own, and that will be the second point. GeForce keeps pushing this forwards.
We are looking like a pause coming through here. There we go, as Ultima reflects the Deadeye of Sue. Wow, that pretty impressive hold there, actually managing to hold back GeForce. It looked a little ugly coming into that first point, but you know, full stabilization there, and you could really see the strength of that double shield coming through.
Yeah, the double shield can really be a strong composition, especially on that second point of Junkertown, where it can be more narrow. You have to fight in more of like a streets phase if you're looking at like a King's Row or another map that is similar. So it really shows the strengths of that hero makeup that time around.
Yeah, and you can see that GeForce was anticipating that. They were pushed so far forward in such an aggressive positioning not allowing the double shield to really set up at all because they knew exactly what was going to happen. And then as soon as it did, it was, you're down for a couple of fights all of a sudden. So, good read, I think, from GeForce there, not allowing, them to really stabilize until, they absolutely had to.
Yeah, and as we mentioned at the start of this map, this is GeForce's map to win, right? If they win this, they can claim a W in this qualifier stage of the tournament.
Yeah, so, and I think they're looking to set that pace. They're looking to set that tempo of the game, really not allowing them to really, get a firm footing back into this game. They want to keep their foot on the gas.
Absolutely. We've said it ad nauseum over the last months and over the last year. We've been casting together. The name of the game is Overwatch, but the sub name of that game, it could be Overwatch : take space, use aggression, set the pace, make the other team uncomfortable, and that is something a lot of the time so far in this match GeForce has been really good at.
Yeah, they're not allowing. They're really not allowing any real breath to be taken. It's like, oh, you thought that fight was over? No, here's a Tracer, here's a Wrecking Ball, here's a Sombra. Always poking and prodding, not allowing any real safety or comfortability to get a real setup going here. And we really saw it pay off, especially on the first point. The payload just kept going. So it really came down to DELETEFRIEND, finding that footing, getting that high ground back, because they're running such a less mobile comp. That as soon as you lose that high ground and you're forced to fight, split up, getting isolated there. Although, Choose having no problem fighting a 1v3 with a supercharger over at the Mega here. It looks like we are back to the game here as we just started to see Sue getting the Deadeye unfortunately reflected back in their face. Looks like that was being used so they can make a swap.
And with that, we are on to point 3 here on Junkertown. GeForce once again pushing this forward on the attack. Rally coming out now from Magic 8 Ball as this fight gets going. A little bit of contestation happening right now. You can see Maimon in the back line just making sure that payload doesn't move forward. But while that's occurring, Ultima's able to get in with the dash. They're going to get 2. The rest of GeForce is there to follow up, and they are going to clean house right now. And this payload will be chugging along at a pretty good rate. They were able to take that man advantage with Maimon being in the backline by themselves and just go forward and rip through DELETEFRIEND.
Yeah, we're seeing Ultima doing a nice job on this Genji, taking advantage of the fact that DELETEFRIEND is kind of bunched up quite a bit, and they're getting a ton of value out of these dashes.
Kappa gets 1, but DELETEFRIEND gets 3 or 4 in that fight. The defenders are right back in with a vengeance, holding off GeForce's attack, trying to burn more time off the clock, and there's only 15 seconds remaining.
Yes, so much time coming into the second point now, and down to 10 seconds on the third point. And Junkertown third point is a point that you can get stuck on for so long. You can come in here with 5 minutes and not finish.
This is a rough order now for GeForce. You can see the Supercharger, the M-Matrix, Dragons coming through. Everybody's spending their ultimates right now because they know they're not carrying over to the next round. And with that, the defenders are at a bit of an advantage with the extra ultimates they have. Gravitic Flux coming out next now from Alex, seeing if they can slam somebody down, and they do. They get rid of Eugene. And with that, it looks like GeForce is finally running out of bodies here on their attack. I think this is as far as the payload's going to go. Desperation Blade coming out from Ultima, cashes in nothing, and with that, round 1 is complete. Not a terrible attack coming out from GeForce, but definitely a scenario that DELETEFRIEND can better.
DELETEFRIEND has given themselves a really nice win condition here. Not finishing, especially after how successful that first was on the first point, not being able to get all the way to the end of the map is going to be crucial. And it set them up for, I think, yeah, as you said, a very winnable scenario for them here.
It's definitely winnable, and that's what they need to do to stay into this match right now and continue and take us to a map 3, which is what we were hoping for, but GeForce had their moments on the attack. Pummy looked great on the Hanzo to start off, and if they can play the Widowmaker like they play the Hanzo, we could be in for a treat.
This is such a good point for these sniper heroes. The longest sight lines, or what feels like the longest sight lines in the game, probably is, really rewards the aim that Pummy very much has. So if they're able to keep this aggression up, if they're able to keep the tempo up here, I think they're in a really good spot.
100%. They have set themselves up for success, and it is up to DELETEFRIEND to get the payload further and take this map as they are about to roll out of the spawn doors.
Looking like DELETEFRIEND sticking with the double shield here, hoping to take a lot of these, these fights a little bit earlier in the neutral. Hybrid comp coming out here from GeForce.
And so far you will see GeForce a little bit more split up with that wrecking ball on their side as the payload comes to the first corner. Now Alex trying to hold onto the high ground, drops down to main. Doesn't want to keep that in his possession right now. Maimon staying off on the left-hand side, not doing too much. Su gets one and then pays for it with his life as Kuffa gets another kill with the pile driver, looking great on that wrecking ball.
It's a nice rotation there from Alex, manages to catch up on both the supports, kind of all alone there, and now they've bought so much space. This first point has been like almost free here for both teams. We'll see if GeForce is able to get another contestant.
That's a good point, Aegis. As you remember, on GeForce's attack, they were able to make quick work of this first point, and with Su coming back on the legs, could this happen for DELETEFRIEND's attack as well? This might be stymied. Eugene doing a lot of work with that Zenyatta, gets rid of an immortality field, but Kara and Maimon coming back in with a couple kills of their own. With that will be point one, so a pretty good time put up on the clock. Still 5:17 and counting. Su, what are you doing on that Soldier 76? That is disgusting. What a Helix rocket at the end of that fight.
Amplification matrix ready. Prepare to fire. Amplification matrix ready. Ultimate is ready. Get in position. Amplification matrix ready.
Eugene's going to want to get that Transcendence up pretty quickly if they want to react with that, with all these ultimates about to come online for DELETEFRIEND. You can see 17% away from a tactical visor as they are trying to put some holes into Ultima right now. Has to back up just a little bit. Not too much happening right now for Su. Seeing if they want to go back up onto the high ground. It looks like they're just going to stick with Choose and try and pump damage out as they keep pushing this card forward.
Yeah, you can see GeForce, and we talked about the mobility of that comp. They're able to get back so fast that the tanks from DELETEFRIEND aren't actually able to get up to the high ground. You can see they're itching to get up there. They got the tac visor. Oh no.
The ultimates come out and Kuffa is able to get two with the mines. Kuffa knew that DELETEFRIENDs were going to be stuck behind that amplification matrix, and they took full advantage of that. Maimon doing some work of their own now on that Tracer, but it's not going to be enough. They're going to have to regroup. Pretty much everyone else on their team just died.
Critic Flux and a Supercharge is going to be coming in for DELETEFRIEND for some big pieces here, and Eugene has no Transcendence available, so Magic 8 Ball has the rally. That's all that's online for GeForce.
Defensive ultimate, and they are going to use it to engage right now, so make me look a little bit foolish. Kuffa's able to get in the back and take down Choose now. With Ultima getting stunned up, they have to back out, and even though Pummy gets a pick, they're not going to be able to support Ultima enough to save their life. Now the Flux coming out late from Alex, and once again just creating that space, making sure that GeForce cannot push forward into enemy lines, and with that, DELETEFRIEND is going to get back on the payload.
Slowly moving it up here. They're in a great position. Alex doing a great job just really locking GeForce into the room there. It got a little bit ugly towards the end. I thought that pulse bomb was going to get more than it did. We do get a nice recontest here. Nice re-engage. We'll see if anyone can make it back though.
Team shoot coming out there from DELETEFRIEND. They made short work of Kuffa, and now the ultimate going down. That's the rest of GeForce giving up the ghost on that attack. And now 4 minutes plus left on the clock for DELETEFRIEND, and they don't even need to get the payload all the way to the end of the map.
Yeah, this is big, coming in a much better position here, and not getting stalled out on the second point quite the same way that GeForce did.
And now Sue just holding onto this tack visor for a rainy day, or maybe to combine with another ultimate, most namely the supercharger coming out from Choose. Just trying to poke into the backline right now. They're going to have to avoid these dragons coming up from Pummy, but that's not going to find out too much. Bit of a trade coming out. Tack visor mostly finding shields, not finding a stray head. Ultima is able to get into the back in 1 kill. So right now the defender's a little bit of an advantage, but this could still go either way.
Yeah, Cafe is going to have this minefield, but we're going to start actually with the supercharger here from Choose. And yeah, they're starting to come out here. DELETEFRIEND is, you know, a ton of gas left in the tank. You're coming after the Gravitic Flux. The window has come out from Becky as well.
That was a cheeky window on the high ground from Becky, and that allowed Sue to secure a kill with the extra damage coming in. And now we might be coming into the last fight here if DELETEFRIEND can keep pushing this forward. Nice pulse bomb comes up from my moan. That's going to get any out of the fight. The payload getting so close in, and it's going to get pushed in. And with that, we have DELETEFRIEND taking a map, and we are, Ageless, headed to a map 3.
Oh, that's exciting. We wanted the map 3. We're getting it. Really nice attack there from DELETEFRIEND. Again, they're able to get that positioning. They're able to really find that aggression and set their own tempo, which I think is really what was missing on their defense.
I think it was very interesting. You kind of saw varying philosophies on how these teams were pushing it forward. The first attack with G-Force coming up, they really used their tank line to get forward and push. And then when DELETEFRIEND was going through the same thing, they decided to more push with their DPS line and the extra damage they were pumping out because they had the more stationary Orisa.
Yeah, you can see there's a kind of a little bit more of a slow go coming around there, and they managed to kind of lock up in some of the small rooms, especially on second point. But Alex, especially, like, oh my god.
Well, I mean, we knew coming in how good Alex was in the off-tank role, and they are doing nothing but showing that once again. If you've been following Overwatch for a while, there's no surprise at really how efficient Alex is on that position. And I don't see anything but that continuing coming into map 3. And it's going to be really, really fun to watch these teams face off one more time. It's been a great match so far.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to our third map, and I'm very curious what it is, because there's some very different philosophies that we saw there on Junkertown. Definitely seeing more preference for the more station, the more bunker kind of comp. Where as we're seeing the balls end kind of sticking out of the hybrid with the Sigma as well. Map 3 is actually heading to Blizzard World. Oh, that I feel like. Yeah, you can kind of play whatever you want in Blizzard World. If you feel, especially on like the first point, you could be running this hybrid, you can be running this bunker, but you can. There's a lot of nice flank routes that you can be taking to allow the the balls in and the hybrid comps to come out.
I mean, with as much fun as we've been having watching this match, it makes perfect sense that we go to a theme park, and I'm sure it's going to be just a roller coaster of emotions coming up. I had to do it.
Oh my god. Yeah, Blizzard World, I feel like this is a really good map. I want to see Mars come out with this sort of aggression. There's so many of the little flank routes that you can be taking that, the Wrecking Ball Tracer combination that we've seen, kind of, sprinting around the map, jumping all over. This is going to be really good for them. I think, especially like the second point, you have like the high ground that, it's good if you can get the setup, but if they're able to keep the pressure, G-Force is going to be in a really good position. We saw on the second point of Junkertown, just how much that aggression was paying off for them. So if they're able to keep that up, I think.
And you can see it there now on your screens. We are headed to Blizzard World for map 3. This one's for all the marbles in this match. One team's going to have to take an L, the other team's going to come out with a W. I honestly don't know who's going to do it after the first 2 maps, considering how close they were. But one thing I do know, or at least I very much hope, it is going to go down to the wire.
Yeah, DELETEFRIEND doing really well on the payload map. I'm curious if that's going to kind of carry over to the hybrid. So let's see what they want to come up with here.
Hello.
Oh, looking like we're going to be potentially swapping up a little bit here. Obviously, lots of time left for the teams to choose their heroes. But right now, looks like DELETEFRIEND opting for the bunker here. So a bit of a different look than we've seen from them so far.
A bunker would be a new one. I mean, we have seen Choose on that Orisa already, so that is kind of coming in the same once again. But Sue is going to be on the Ash, which could be a very interesting proposition.
Yeah, this I'm really excited for. Sue has been just an absolute monster on the hit scan. And yes, you're absolutely right. Choose and Alex are back on the Orisa Sigma here. So I'm going to stick with their picks.
Here we go on Blizzard World. We have DELETEFRIEND coming through on their attack first, rotating around this left-hand side, seeing if they can get a look onto the high ground, maybe force a rotation coming up from G-Force. Nice dynamite coming in over the top from Sue. Isn't going to burn anyone down though. Has to use the coach gun to try and knock Kappa off kilter. And with that, Car is going to get the first pick. That's going to look good for the defenders. They're going to get right, or for the attackers, excuse me, they're going to get right over in onto the point. Mymone trying to get into the backline, seeing if they can find a low health target. Threatens Pummy a little bit on that hand, so Pummy's able to double jump back out of that engagement. And DELETEFRIEND trying to find one of these rotations to really take it home after they got that early advantage.
Doing a really good job of kind of like keeping Kappa to the outside. They're not able to really get a ton done here. They're finally starting to find some of those roll throughs. Just a ton of pressure coming in on Eugene and Magic 8 Ball.
And now we can see Sue doing work in the back line. That Ash can be so scary when they can shoot unimpeded. Pulse Bomb coming up for Mymone. They're not able to find anything with that ultimate. Trying to get over to the point, maybe put a little objective pressure as they almost have the capture coming through. Kara with another whip shot kill. Kara is on fire on the brink. They're able to get two and now get the point. And let's see if DELETEFRIEND can get any extra kills at the end of this fight here. Push the members of G-Force back even further.
Yeah, once DELETEFRIEND makes it onto the point, it's so difficult to displace this composition. Both the tanks are up there. They have the space they need. There's just so much poke damage coming out from behind it with Sue on this match.
Sue is doing it, getting two more and making sure that nobody's going to hurt that backline. They can't really do much damage if Sue has killed them all already. Alex is going to keep that pace up, throws down the flux. They are going to miss the accretion as well of coming out from anyhow. And with that, even though there's no kills, that did force out an ultimate from Eugene as they use the Transcendence, which they'll probably want a bit later on in this fight.
Anyhow, you know, we talked a lot about Alex. Anyhow has been fantastic on the Sigma as well. Some really nice peel as we saw on the first point. That first fight could have been over so quickly as Eugene and 8-Ball got isolated pretty quickly, honestly, up on the high ground.
Now Pummy has switched over to the Ash as well, so trying to match Sue. And with that, it's not happening so far. Sue is thrown down with another headshot. They did have the aid of Choose's Supercharger in that last engagement as well, so doing a lot of extra damage with those critical hits. Cuff able to get one back with the minefield coming in. Those mines seemingly last forever once the Wrecking Ball drops them if nobody takes care of them. Anyhow, trying to stay on the payload, stalling this out for as long as they can, pushing members of DELETEFRIEND into the arcade and then deleting Alex as well. And with that, G-Force is finally standing on 2 feet.
Wow. Okay. Anyhow, coming to do some cleanup with the Ultima as well. Mymone goes down. Sue coming up to this Bob. No real surprise here. They've been just an absolute monster on the Ash so far. You can hear the shots going over Alex's head. Both teams vying for this high ground now.
You can see Alex taking the same route to the enemy team as they did last time, trying to get the high ground. This time, the accretion connects from anyhow. That is going to force their counterpart Sigma back as Kappa comes with the roll through, and they're able to get Mymone out of the fight. Not quite up to that pulse bomb yet. And right now, with DELETEFRIEND having a little bit of an ult advantage, you think this might be their time to push forward and see if they can take another fight.
Yeah, Mymone is pulling a ton of attention and aggro away from especially anyhow here. It just doesn't seem to be able to be capitalized on quite the way that they're hoping.
Now you can see Mymone trying to go down the right-hand side. Bob is going to come out from Sue. That's going to be the engagement tool for DELETEFRIEND, and they are going to get rid of Pummy on the back of that, and Matrix on the field as well. Kappa once again getting a kill with the roll through. They're able to take down Becky. Alex uses another ultimate. Nice stick coming out though. Kara was not able to catch it with the shield, and G-Force is cleaning up some kills now. Alex just trying to stay alive and not get blown up by these mines.
Just one by one, doing some mine clearing here. Oh, is mine? Did they make it out of this? They absolutely do. They make it out with their pulse bomb as well. So Magic 8 Ball coming up to their rally, but that's going to be it. It's been mostly in the neutral here, and Maimon does use the pulse bomb, so it might be rally v rally here for this next fight.
Could be a lot of armor coming up in this next engagement. Sue opting for a bit of a different path this time through, going up on the right-hand side through the house. Pummy's although going to get the first kill. They're going to get rid of Maimon, and that is going to be a good start now for G-Force, as they are going to just stabilize, hold on. They know they have that extra advantage with that pick. They're not going to push the issue too much, even though Kuffa is, as they are wont to do, getting into the backline. Once again, Supercharger comes out from Choose, and that is going to force G-Force to get off their line of sight and try and kite some of this. Unfortunately, a great pull coming out there from Choose is going to spell the end of Pummy, and this payload is moving forward once again with this Supercharger doing so much work. Look at all those assists. Only a little bit left to go for that payload. It's looking like DELETEFRIEND is going to keep this attack going.
Nice prediction dynamite there from Sue as well. Managing to have the ultimate kind of on their way by, and another. This has been unbelievable from Sue. Just not allowing anyone to really go anywhere or feel comfortable in any way or even play the game.
Yeah, you gotta stop poking on Sue right now. The minute Sue sees your head, they're aiming right for it. And it's really paying dividends for the rest of DELETEFRIEND. You can see they're pushing forward with some more ultimates with Pulse Bomb coming out there from Ultima. That's not going to claim any victims as Kaffa tries to go in for one more pile driver, getting so close to that minefield but not quite building it up just yet. And they're going to go down, so even though they just got it, they can't spend it. And now Alex just cleaning up with the Sigma and the help of Choose on the Orisa. DELETEFRIEND pushing forward. They're about to have a bunch of ultimates online here. You can see Maimon up to 96% on that tack visor. Going on a bit of a flank here, seeing if they can catch Pummy unawares. Has to hit those headshots quick. Nice play with the Helix Rocket as well, and now that soldier is ulting in the backline. That's going to force out a Transcendence, but that Trans was not able to find Ultima, and this is a great engagement tool now for DELETEFRIEND. But will it be enough?
This is such a nice flank. Oh, and just cashes Pummy at a perfect moment there. Didn't expect it to bring out the visor. Oh, my Bob. Bob's doing something.
Pummy finding a couple shots of their own. Ultimate back in the fight. They're always a threat. And look at the assist coming out from Eugene Zenyatta with those Discord orbs, making sure everyone's taking extra damage. But Sue's not going down without a fight. An absolutely gorgeous headshot onto Ultima.
Doing a nice job of just, you know, getting this little contest consistently here, especially from Ultima, just ticking it off the clock like 1 second at a time.
And now it is up to DELETEFRIEND to get onto the point. Sue is going to start off by throwing Bob onto the objective. Let the 7th man see if they can get some extra contesting happening. Another dynamite comes out and hits its mark, and that is going to be the curtains for Ultima. Now DELETEFRIEND pushing forward. They don't have very far to go. They do have to contend with the rally coming out from Kara, getting a lot of extra armor on their allies. And with that, Sue, you can see once again just shooting with this Ash, not really able to be pressured by the members of G-Force, and with that it allows them so much more value. Window coming out now from Becky, trying to amp up the damage coming through anyhow with the remake kill, and that gets turned around by G-Force. There was no one left to get onto the point for DELETEFRIEND, and that is going to do it for this attack.
Just stalled out at the end, not enough left in the tank. There was a minefield coming up as well. Wow, G-Force really turning things around. Or sorry, yeah, DELETEFRIEND really turning things around.
And with that, like, I wouldn't call that one a C9 or anything. There were a lot of people going down in a short amount of time, so didn't really have the perfect amount of tools in the box to get that one done. But nonetheless, it is going to hurt when you get that close, but you're not able to push it through.
Yeah, G-Force just did a really nice job there of just kind of eating up the clock, not even in like really big, like, you know, like big stands, like they would, you know, eat 30 seconds, minute off. But it was just like 1 second at a time. Ultima doing a really nice job, just constantly being on the point, making sure that it wasn't moving forward all the time, because we did see that on Junkertown, especially on that first point. It just kind of cruised straight through. So not the case here on Blizzard World. Doing a nice job providing that point presence, you know, blinking in, blinking out, using those cooldowns really nicely to just make sure that they weren't getting anything really for free this entire time.
And speaking of not getting anything for free, it's been really a good job from Choose coming out on that Orisa. The Superchargers, just looking through like the highlights we're keeping track of, these Superchargers are doing so much work for Choose.
Yeah, and it's not often you get like excited about a Supercharger. It's not a really exciting looking ultimate, but when Choose uses these, it's a nail biter every time.
Now anyhow, being the tip of the spear in this fight for GeForce, pushing forward both. Sigma's thrown at the hands, trying to absorb some extra damage as the Immortality Field is spent now from Becky, and that is doing a lot of work keeping their team alive, at least momentarily. It's just not enough for the damage coming in from GeForce, and they are on the warpath right now. A great play at the end with the sticky bombs coming up from Ultima. That's going to call it for the first point. And with that, a blazing start here on GeForce's attack.
Yeah, this is huge. 5.5 minutes to capture. After capturing that first point here, you can see Sue is moved over to that Ashe, trying to recreate the same magic that we saw.
And we'll see an Orisa via Orisa now as Kaffa has also moved over to the Battle Cattle, anyhow trying to move up on this left-hand side. Has to go in a bit more of a fight now with Kaffa on that Orisa, just to get a couple different looks coming through on their attack.
Now with Maimon on the Tracer and Ultima on the Echo, so a couple different philosophies here coming into the second point, a little bit more, you know, up in the sky action from Ultima, and just so much neutral damage. On the other hand, doesn't matter if you get stuck by a pulse bomb, so Maimon making up for all that damage that Ultima was able to put out.
And with that, the defense has once again stabilized. They're good to go. They can wait a little bit, get their breath back, get ready for this next attack coming through, and they're going to want to be ready for it too. There's about to be a lot of ultimates in the bank for GeForce.
Yeah, absolutely stacked here, coming up on 5 ultimates. No defensive ults here on the side of DELETEFRIEND either, so Becky on the Baptiste, who not going to be able to do really much of anything actually.
And now you can see Alex holding onto the high ground. They know with the Sigma, the high ground is so key. You can get those good firing angles in and really make it rough terrain for the enemy as GeForce is getting ready to come in once again.
Saw the scout come out there from Ultima. They know that they're kind of all bunched up there. I wonder if we're going to see a similar rotation. Oh, my bone. They know that they're back there.
Ultimates for the Ashe that's come onto the field. Transcendence is out as well from Eugene, doing a lot of work keeping their team healed up right now. Pummy getting down to half HP, has to get some healing of their own, and they are going to be able to finish off the bomb from Sue. And now the Supercharger on the high ground from Kappa. This can be huge. It's really going to punish the members of DELETEFRIEND if they're out of position. You can see that happening already. Choose is the first of all victims of that Supercharger. Nice shield coming out there from Alex to keep their Mercy alive as Kara went in for that res, and that is turning this around. What a play coming out. Started with just a great shield from Alex, allowed Kara to get a pretty gutsy res off, and you knew they had that Supercharger in the back pocket. That was the wild card that turned this fight around.
Yeah, Kara does a fantastic job. That res was everything. That completely flipped the fight for them there. They did use all of their ultimates. Sue is coming up to a Bob there, but nothing else left available. Magic 8 Ball with the window. Do a little bit of window shopping here, I think, for and there it is.
Coming out with that and Matrix almost immediately, and that is going to force people down onto the low ground so they don't have to get into that extra damage. And once again, Maimon going with that flank over onto the left-hand side, but Eugene's able to punish Becky, get that kill on this Zenyatta. You love seeing the bloodthirsty support. And Sue's going to sneak into the back line, throw down the bomb, get the coach pen off, and that is going to force the immortality field coming out from 8ball just for themselves. And will it be the right play? It's looking like it might not be here as Choose is back in on the payload, getting just enough healing to stay alive, getting so low, and the pulse bomb is going to claim them. Ultima gets 2 in the end, but it's not going to matter. The payload is going to get in.
Oh, they needed that too. They're going to need, so 3.5, just under 3.5 minutes remaining here. Eugene coming up with the Transcendence. Probably going to hold on to that, I think, for Alex's Gravitic Flux.
That's always a battle to watch. And I mean, if you're a Zenyatta player, you know that is a great ultimate to hold it for. You can negate a lot of damage coming down, but that might open up the doors for Kuffa to throw down another big supercharger. We've seen a lot of those from both Orissas, and that could really flip this next fight on its ear. Anyhow, with a nice flank over to the left-hand side, they have earned that Gravitic Flux, but Kuffa is going to start the stop. They're going to use the supercharger first, so that means Alex coming out with the Flux. There is a window. A lot of ultimates being spent here in this fight. It is an absolute Q fiesta right now. There are so many colors on the screen, and Anyhow is coming out on the right side of the kill feed, which in this case is the left side, and getting pushed forward here. This payload getting very close to the end, and this is very winnable for GeForce. They might have the map coming up here in a moment.
This is devastating here for DELETEFRIEND. All these ultimates used.
That's gonna do it. Pamu just pummeling people through that amplification matrix, and nobody from DELETEFRIEND could even get onto the point. It was just damage after damage after damage, and that is going to do it. GeForce is going to take a W in this qualifier.
Unreal play here. I'm actually going to see some Ashe play from Pummy here. So we did talk up Sauna/Sue quite a bit throughout that match, but yeah, Pummy obviously no slouch there either.
Very much. See, this is why I have Ageless in the room with me, so he can help me out with hitting the right buttons at the right time. But as I was saying, we got our wish there. We got to see a very close match.
Yeah, that was super tight, really back and forth there. We asked for the 3-game map and we got it. So let's hand it back off. I guess we'll go to a quick break actually here while we get ready for the next match.